Viewbotters finally get what they deserve. This must be about fixed life and embedding, right?
So, take a look at this. So, there's been a long-standing conversation about embedding.
Yep. Yep.
Embedding in World of Warcraft, or not World of Warcraft did it a little bit, but like mainly New World is a culprit of this. And then there's also F Extra Life.
Well, New World is absolutely desperate at this point. Imagine how much money Amazon put into that to just create an absolute stinker.
Like, if you go to their website, let's see, are they live right now? I mean, I guess we'll find out by just seeing what the top channels are. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Looks like they're not. So that's probably... Oh, yeah, here we go. This guy right here has 8,000 viewers. Now, if you go into his chat, you know, clearly all of the conversations here are just bullshit, and there's not really that many people actually watching him, right? He does not have 8,000 people that are actually in the stream. And so this has been a problem for a long time on Twitch, because the reason why, it's just the same 3 mods in his chat. Yeah, I actually, to be honest...
I'll say this again, this has not been a problem on Twitch, because Twitch allows it, so they don't see a problem with it.
Surprised there was anybody there. But anyway, so this guy is a viewbotter, embedder. New World database has this same stuff too. You go ahead and you open up the New World subreddit here, and they also have an embedded stream. And so if you go over and you look at the stream that's being embedded, this is a person who has 1,000 viewers.
Seems legit.
So really all they're doing here is they're just basically using this as a way to farm as many ads as possible without actually having these viewers, right? So this is clearly a...
There's not a single person chatting, by the way. That's pretty good.
This is clearly kind of a scam. Is that against TOS? No, it's not. It's not against TOS. And so anyway, a stream like this gets views. So this is kind of like what happens, right? Is that with a lot of embedded views, you don't really get ads played on the embedded views. But, like, if I go over and I'll explain kind of like why this is a problem. Twitch tracker, let's go ahead and just look at this real quick. And, where's F Extra Life? So this guy right here are these people here. It's not just one person. So let's go ahead and hear.
Dude, there's a bunch of these. Wow. Are these all... Nah, these must be just other people who made these channels and did the logo. Or are all of these the channels? Can't be, right?
See here, do you think it should be against TOS? Yeah. Yeah, I think it should, and I'll explain why. And so anyway, rank 37 on the entire platform. So out of all the streamers on the entire platform, F Extra Life is ranked number 37. And so those spikes right there are from, and again, like you look at this, like this is a person who had 60,000 viewers. That's the number right here. So you look at this person's stream, 60,000 viewers down to 18,000 viewers. Have you ever seen a stream that goes on for 4 hours with 17,000 viewers that only gains 92 followers? Right?
Yes.
So this is clearly...
Yes! The OTK game show! The OTK game show! Yeah, I have seen a stream that does that. The irony is great on this one.
A viewbotting Andy, right? Now, why is this a problem? Why is having a lot of viewers from embedding a problem? Now, it's a problem for... this is, I mean, honestly, it's primarily a problem for streamers, right?
Yeah.
So, the reason why it's a problem for streamers is that if you go to the cyberpunk category, this person should not be here.
Okay.
And because this person is here, this person is not here. And everything on Twitch...
Well, you can easily just blame that on the Twitch system, because the reality is, if a person is interested in watching Cyberpunk, they're just clicking on the first stream. That's it. Now, no one but the first position in the first row pretty much matters. Because what happens? By the way, this is not even such a big problem for the viewers. You need to understand that. As viewers, you probably don't give a shit about embedding, right? Because the reality is like this. You want to watch Cyberpunk, you click on this stream, it's garbage. Well, guess what? You probably wasted 10 seconds of your life. What do? Well, you go to the next most popular stream. This one's good? Well, you watch it. This is not a viewer problem. The whole embedding situation is only 100% a streamer problem. You as a viewer suffer zero from this. Okay? Most people are also smart enough to look at this and be like, oh yeah, this looks sus, probably shit. And it is. Wow. Unexpected, right?
Which operates in a zero-sum environment. There are only so many placement slots at the top of a directory, and those placement slots need to be earned by people, or at least obtained in a way that is not completely artificial. So what ends up happening here...
Also, again, Twitch disagrees with you. But again, the video title has finally got what they deserve, so maybe Twitch did something? I don't know.
Is that you have somebody like this who is viewbotting themselves, or embedding, again, functionally the same thing, themselves up to the top of a directory, and then suppressing all of the legitimate streamers down farther below that. Basically, what ends up happening is that people who deserve the...
No, what ends up happening is this. If you remove this guy right here, then this is now the new person that is suppressing absolutely every single other person in this category. That's what effectively happens. By removing him, you're not solving the problem of suppression. No, this is this is not a superhero saving a city from the evildoer. This is more like a change of management, so to speak.
The viewership. People who deserve to have that placement don't get that placement. And instead,
I mean, we also can laugh about this, but the reality is, most people... I'll give you a secret, come closer. Most people on Twitch who have 30k viewers and whatnot, view bot. Because it makes them a lot of money, and when you have 20k real people watching you, there's absolutely no fucking way you can tell if they have view botted at 10k extra on top. And no one talks about this on Twitch, because most people on Twitch do that. Most big streamers on Twitch just do that. Remember that magical day when the view bots stopped working, and all the big streamers were like, "Oh, I'm feeling bad today. I suddenly have a cold. I'm feeling sick. I'm not gonna stream today." Yeah, remember that day? How many of the top 100 streamers streamed that day when all the view bots just went down? Not a lot. Not a lot. Because it's worth it. It's worth the viewbot. If you have 10k views, viewbot 10 more on top. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna see the difference. But that will never be called out on Twitch, because you need to understand that Twitch is a very, very finely knit community where everyone at the top knows everyone else at the top, and they don't want to say bad things about anyone else on the top, because if they do, well, that person probably can say a lot of bad things also about them. So it's kind of the untouchable situation. No one wants to touch anyone, no one can touch anyone, because that ends in poor situations for everyone.
The person who's cheating does get it. And how did this, and I think again, this mainly affects streamers.
Only
so I can
affects
understand
streamers.
why, like, some people might not really like, isn't that functionally the same? No, Amazon clearly has no issues with embedded streams driving views. They could clearly make them not count towards view count. I'm gonna get to that, but it's gonna take me some time, okay?
Okay.
Just be patient. So anyway, that's how it hurts streamers. Now, also, how does it hurt advertisers? Another way that it hurts
hurting. Okay, so let me explain also this. If you're a viewer, you want advertisers to be hurt. That's the reality of it, because the more hurt the advertisers are, the less ads you get. As a viewer, you should be saying, good going, Fextra Life. You are doing every viewer on this platform a service, because You are reducing the number of ads. They're the secret hero here.
The platform is that it hurts the platform in terms of advertisers, right? And I'm going to give you an example of advertisers being hurt by this practice, okay? So we're going to take a look at this article here. This is an article written, it was about...
Oh boy, by Forbes. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be great.
Looks like about a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago. And Immortals of Avenum was a very popular game that was broadcast to a bunch of people whenever it came out, right? It had a huge marketing push, millions of dollars behind it. And I want to go ahead and draw attention to like one paragraph here. And if you look at this here, let me go ahead and see here. If you've been on Twitter and Twitch this last week, you've seen a bunch of streamers playing Immortals of Avenum, but as part of the sponsored ad campaigns, you can just search Immortals of Avenum ad on Twitter and see dozens and dozens of streamers who've been part of the campaign. To me, this shows the limits of a streamer-based ad campaign. This has been an absolute flood of sponsored streams, which no doubt cost EA a pretty penny. So what he's saying basically is that EA spent a tremendous amount of money on promoting Immortals of Avenum, right? Well, here's what the problem is. So if you look at, for example, F Extra Life, they actually were one of the people who got sponsored by Immortals of Avenum. And you can see it right here with their, because this is the website, it's twitchtracker.com.
Oh boy.
So you can look and see Immortals of Avenum, #ad, #sponsored by EA, right?
Yeah.
So how much do you want to bet that a lot of the marketing budget that was meant for real streamers was spent on F Extra Life?
A small portion.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, they ate up...
Okay. Enough with the stupidity. Okay, let me explain why he's absolutely 100% completely wrong with this example. Now, this example could work in other situations, but the problem with this example is that the game was shit and no one liked it. EA just sponsored a bunch of people and they hoped that that's going to drive sales. The fact that they sponsored Fixtra Life is a small tidbit drop of their money that they put in the sponsorships. And it's not that... the situation is simple. It's not that Fixtra Life sponsorship failed. Every single sponsorship that they did for this game absolutely just was a disaster and failed in general. So this is a completely stupid and not working example because the game failed in general. The game didn't fail because Fixtra Life got sponsored so much. No. The game failed because the game failed at all. They tried to supplement the fact that the game is absolute garbage by just trying to sponsor a bunch of big streamers, and it didn't work out at all. This has this leaves absolutely no impact on the EA, probably. They're not thinking differently because it's clear the game's shit. That's why no one's played it. They are probably not blaming Fixtra Life or any of the ads. The ads were just, their Hail Mary try to actually get someone to buy this thing in hopes that this will work out. But it didn't. So this is why this is a completely horrible example.
The marketing budget that real streamers deserve to have. And the outcome of that is articles that are calling into question the entire effectiveness of streamer marketing. Thus
yes. No. Asmongold has a complete misunderstanding of what's happening here. Because, again, having a bunch of businesses where you're doing nothing and whenever you come into the office, a bunch of people are literally hoping that you disappear as fast as you came in because you're a nuisance, it's just bad. No, this article exists because they sponsored a lot of things. And this and that sponsorship, this absolute huge marketing campaign, brought in no players, no one across the board. Fixtra Life wasn't special in the fact that they failed. Everyone failed. This article exists because what EA did with Legends or whatever Avion game's name is, it just proved that you can't drop millions upon millions in marketing money into a piece of shit and then hope that it's gonna succeed. That's why this article exists. Not because every campaign worked except Fextra Life, and now because Fextra Life didn't work, advertisers are looking into it and saying, maybe there's a bunch of people like Twitch, so we should sponsor them less. No. This article exists only because on a broad scale, everyone failed. They sponsored a bunch of people. They sponsored a bunch of ads. They put an a huge amount of money in this, and it failed across the board. And this article is about the fact that that strategy just doesn't work.
It's hurting every streamer, causing them to maybe make less money or have people lose confidence in streamer promotions.
Yes, this is gonna make people lose confidence in streamer promotions. That is reality. But this has absolutely nothing to do with Fextra Life. EA, after analyzing their marketing failure, probably is not putting even a single shred of blame on Fextra Life.
So they're causing everybody to lose money because they're taking sponsorships like this and they're broadcasting it to 0 viewers. Nobody gives a shit. That's why they lost 260 followers during the stream. And guess what happens? Nobody sticks around to play the game. No real people are seeing the game. And regardless of whether the game is good or not, these people didn't deserve to get scammed. And they did. They did get scammed.
Regardless if the game is good or not. You see, he's removing the big thing. Everyone who saw those streams, everyone who saw the game, was in unanimous agreement that the game is shit and not worth playing.
I can guarantee you that they were probably... Because here's a good way to look at it. How can you possibly quantify what the value of your stream promotion is if you don't have actual numbers? Because they embed every single time. And what do you think they're using? Do you think they're using the amount of views that they get from embedding? Or do you think they're using their total views? Well, they're going to be using their total views, including the ones that they get from embedding.
No, Okay. That was funny. He gave you 2 options of what you think. He named the wrong one, but then he said that the both are correct. Because, yeah, both are correct.
So... using following
that was funny.
Yeah, of course, naturally. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, and this is only one example, right? There are a lot of other content creators who do the same thing. It should fall on the marketing firm as
Now, in general, he does have a point here. He actually does have slightly a point here. Because, if there is a good game that sponsors, like, for example, Baldur's Gate. If they sponsor everyone, right? And they sponsor Fextra Life. If they have... if Baldur's Gate 3, for example, decides to sponsor 5 channels and one of them is Fextra Life, that is actual damage to the streamers. Because they're gonna look at the combined total outcome, unless each stream is sponsored at a different time, because you can't track these things, right? Unless each stream is in a different time, 2 things are gonna happen. Because these advertisers are not that stupid, right? There's a reason promo codes exist, right? And let me tell you something. If you have these promo codes are really easy, right? This is how they work. They are quantifiable. They work the same for a channel with 1 view, and they will work the exact same for a channel with 200 trillion views. And you have your special codes that people are supposed to scan and whatnot. And from the amount of people who scan it, you can create estimates. For example, if ad campaign is doing good with the promotion code on a 1K channel, they know how many people are going to use that code. They have an estimated range of how much is good for a channel with 1K views and how much is bad for a channel with, for example, 100,000 views. Okay? Because these things can just be pretty much effectively multiplied. Because that's how unironically it works. Average percentiles. This is basically how they work and why they are good in these situations. And then they can see. They will see that, wait a minute, Fextra Life is actually, the conversion rate of Fextra Life is 10 times less than it actually should be, judging from the amount of codes used. And then what happens is, well, they just don't sponsor Fextra Life next time, or they just offer them 5 or 10 times less money than they did the first time if they're going to sponsor them again. It's just simply how this works. Okay? Now, there are situations where overall... Now, the only situation Asmongold is correct here is very specific. If a company just blanket sponsors, for example, 3 or 4 big streamers only, and then one of them is Fextra Life, and it's the biggest, and they don't have a way to actually track how many people are, using... Well, imagine there's no codes. And they can't track how good each channel is performing in conversion rates to players from viewers to players of their game, and then Fextra Life can damage the overall how the company perceives this performance, and then that can damage it, but that's rare because all of these companies are spending a lot of fucking time tracking how well something is performing. They always have an estimate how well something needs to perform. And if something underperforms, they reevaluate it. There's very rarely going to be a company that just goes blanket sponsors like your top 5 streamers, one of them is Fextra Life, then the ad campaign completely collapses, it was below their expectancy, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna give less money now to streamers. No, that doesn't fucking happen that often. Now, it does, but it doesn't happen that often. Because these companies spend a lot of time in tracking these things. And the main reason why they track these things is because they want to be efficient with their fucking money, obviously. Obviously. They don't want to overpay someone for nothing. That's how it works. You know, if you have a YouTube channel and your average daily views on a video is, I don't know, like 10K, the advertisers are going to meet you and email you, hey, do you want to do this? And you ask, hey, how much you're going to pay? Or you put them your pay, or you tell them how much you want to get paid. Depends on the situation. And they give you a number. But if your average views from that, for example, 10K a day, have gone down to 8, they're gonna track that. They're gonna offer you less money. Advertisers don't want to just waste their money on nothing. But this was a brutal thing where EA just decided, hey, we're gonna waste money on nothing.
As well. Oh yeah, no, you're definitely right. The marketing firm should have been more discerning. They should have known this. They were stupid for sponsoring them, absolutely. But these people are also bad for taking advantage of it, right? Both parties are bad.
No.
I'm surprised advertisers don't pick up on this, do they?
They
I have
do.
no idea if they do or not. But anyway, I've heard from multiple people in the industry that it is problematic, but I don't really have like a lot of details to share with that. And so anyway, the point is that you have people like this who are, and I want to, and so the point that I'm making, right, I'm trying to build a foundation of, so it hurts streamers because of the zero-sum environment of Twitch and the innate viewership, the aggregation, and how obviously the higher viewer streams are the most promoted. It's snowball effect, so that's how it hurts streamers.
Zero something that he just said means nothing. Asmongold does say a lot of words that don't mean nothing. Zero sum or whatever he said about Twitch means fucking nothing. Viewer aggregation means absolutely nothing in this conversation. He's just saying fancy words, by the way, if you're not picking up on it.
Does it hurt advertisers? Well, it hurts advertisers in this way. And why does
it hurts incompetent advertisers? I'll give you that. It probably does hurt extremely incompetent advertisers that are very, 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 very new to the game.
Why do advertisers, because a lot of you guys are probably going to say, let me, I don't give a fuck about if advertisers get hurt or not, right? A lot of people probably don't care. That's totally fine. I don't really give a fuck if EA gets scammed or not that much either, right? It's not my problem. It's not my issue. But the reason why it's problematic is because these actions have a ripple effect on everywhere. So, like, for example,
No, they
streamers
don't.
won't have as much money to invest into cool events because the people that are paying for the events won't be paying as much money.
Bro, esports is collapsing because no one gives a shit about cool events. You understand esports is on the verge of collapse because no one cares about cool events, right? Oh, we're gonna get less advertisement and we're gonna be able... Yeah, then don't do the events. No one cares. Events on Twitch are probably some of the least viewed things ever when a streamer decides, I'm gonna do an event. No, just keep doing the thing you are doing. That's why people care, okay? Jeez.
People will be less invested in Twitch as a whole. If advertising dollars go down on Twitch as a whole, then you're going to see less support for Twitch. You're going to see less chances for the bit rate of a certain game. Or
Also, advertisement dollars are not going to go down from a single fluke. A single fluke means nothing.
Certain streams to be increased. Like, this has been a big problem. It's becoming a bigger problem now that graphics are becoming more granular and more higher fidelity. And so more higher fidelity, right? And so that's how it hurts you as a viewer, right? And it also hurts you as a viewer because if you are not a discerning viewer, the reason why most streams are aggregated this way is that there is a general trend. I'm not saying that there's a one-to-one, but there is a general trend that viewership and entertainment value have a correlation. And if you scroll down to streamers that have 61 viewers, they are going to be on average less entertaining than streamers that have 6,100 viewers. So,
true, but statistically, absolutely mind-blowingly autistic take, okay? The people at the top are always the best, which means they are gonna be entertaining. You're not comparing a the real comparison here, to be fair, is like, well, a 60 viewer stream is gonna be on average less entertaining than a 110 viewer stream. That's not true. They're pretty much equal. But because keep in mind, if you have 1K viewers, you are literally the top 1% or below top 1% of Twitch, viewership wise. So, comparing someone with 6K views, yeah, they are probably the most entertaining person on Twitch by far, okay? They probably are. So, comparing the 0.00001%er with the, rest of 90% of, 95 probably percent of Twitch who have 60 views, yeah, on average, the top 1%er is gonna be more entertaining than the person with 60 views. But that is an absolutely blatantly unfair comparison.
basically, you are effectively being fed bad streams, and those are the ones that are being promoted to you the most. Not true? It is true. I've streamed for 7 years.
Okay, so listen. The fact that you have done something for a long time doesn't make you good at it. That's just the simple truth of the world. If you have done something for 5 years, for example, picked up dog poo in the park, that doesn't make you good at it. Or if it does make you good at it, it doesn't mean that matters. Okay? That's the thing. You can be a streamer for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. There are people who have streamed longer than Asmongold and are less successful than him. You see why this logic doesn't work? Because if the amount of time you have streamed or done something matters, then those people who have streamed 8 years should be more successful than him, but they probably aren't. So the amount of time you have been something is fundamentally a very, very bad example of how good you are at something. There are people who have worked in the medical industry for 30 years, and they're just they do basic grunt work. Then there are people who have worked in the medical industry for 2 years, and they're on the verge of groundbreaking discoveries. The amount of time you spend doing something does not instantaneously correlate with quality, experience, understanding.
Who would be more qualified than me to talk about this?
Anyone with more views, I guess, would be the correct answer on what he is currently searching for.
Who possibly would be more qualified than me?
XQC probably. Obviously, that's a fucking stupid joke, but yeah, by his logic, XQC would be more qualified about that.
The way people mention Soda Pop and XQC, they'll say the same thing I do. And so anyway, I've talked to them. We're very much on the same wavelength. And because, we know this.
I don't exactly understand what is the same wavelength. Is it the fact that they're more entertaining? Yeah, they're probably going to say that. Yeah. I believe that.
And so anyway, the point is that this does hurt viewers. And it makes it to where Twitch seems less interesting. Like, imagine if it's your first time on Twitch and the first thing you pull up is this garbage.
Yeah, you click on it, you spend 10 seconds roughly, and you go look another one up. I'm sorry, if 10 seconds of your time is so unreasonably valuable that's it, you're never gonna open Twitch again because of that, that sounds like a you problem.
A completely boring stream with no chat interaction, nothing going on. That's gonna be your first impression of Twitch. Well,
most people don't care about chat interactions. Most people put Twitch on their second monitor or just, listen to the sounds that are made by the streamer in game or whatever that's happening here. Most people do not interact in the chat at all. The people who interact in the chat are an absolute minority.
A lot of people probably aren't going to stick around. So anyway, let's go back and we're gonna. So that's the foundation of how this is bad for basically everybody, and this is why I think it's bad. So I've explained all that, and now let's go ahead and move forward.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of conversation about this. A number of people on Twitter have been unhappy about this happening, and recently, it seems like Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, seems to actually be doing something about it.
Okay.
Dan Clancy asked King Galothian, right, and he's one of the most outspoken people that is negative about embedding, to put together a list of sites like F Extra Life to block today. He just worked on it on stream and sent it in. Said you and Co had a big part.
Okay.
I want to say, guys, also huge shout out to Quinn. Quinn was also very outspoken about this.
True.
Thank you, Quinn. A lot of you guys have been outspoken. A lot of other streamers have been. I don't want to just say it's one or two people. This has been a big issue for many years.
Oh, by the way, don't get the wrong idea. I don't support embedding. But I'm not gonna just say it's the worst thing in the universe like other people do. Embedding doesn't fucking matter at this point. The only part when embedding actually would start to matter is if a lot of people start doing this on absolute mass. And by the way, the fact that the Twitch CEO is starting to look into it probably does mean that people are slowly starting to do it more. Because when the floodgates are opened, they're opened.
And I will be so happy if this finally gets resolved. Yeah, I can go out there and Quinn, Co. Yes, thank you guys. And also, most importantly, thank you to the viewers. Thank you guys.
For what?
This has been a problem, and I understand that this is primarily a Twitch problem. This is primarily a streamer problem. And I appreciate you guys supporting us and trying to
I'm crying.
uphold the integrity of our platform.
Yes.
For what it's...
Yes, because it's really good when you, a person who has absolutely nothing to gain here, puts a stake in something that you don't care about and, helps him to solve a problem that he is having. Don't ever fucking do that. Concentrate on yourself, your own life, and the problems you have. You probably have at least 10 problems like any normal person that are probably way more impactful than streamers getting more money from ads, and that's probably not even true considering ads are just down in general and sponsorships are down in general currently in all of these spaces. It is what it is.
It's worth. Thanks. It seems like something might actually happen. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Is that literally it?
It can also be true. Okay. All right, let's go.
Oh boy, yeah, it's oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's time to prove to everyone you're smarter by talking while someone has to write. Yeah, I hate this. This is so boring. If you ever want to win in an argument against someone, have them write their responses while you can freely talk. Yeah, that's gonna work. Anyway, I guess that's it. This was Quizzer Sits In. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.